Hello. I had a couple things to talk about today. First, I wanted to. I wish I could start it with like a specific example, but I forgot. And I honestly though I think it might be better because I don't want this person to like whoever it was to find out. Because I'm putting these videos out to the public. But it was something to do with anger. I was kind of irrationally angry at someone in a sort of a way that was like it made me feel like I was being like a chauvinist. I don't even know if it was a woman or a man. Don't remember. But I just thought anger is an interesting thing to talk about. But that's not all I wanted to talk about. Because I don't know, bring up anger is such a broad thing. Like people say that anger is celebrated. That's what Bell Hooks said. Like it's celebrated in our culture, but it's like what about there's a kind of anger then, for me at least, that feels so deeply stigmatized that I can't even talk about it. I wonder if that's the rise of misandry, or if it's just a part of anger that is very taboo. I can't really put my finger on it. I'm not like trying to beat around the bush when it comes to talking about it. It's just I don't really know exactly what I mean by that. It's just I know that there's a type. There's like righteous outrage again about like a social cause, and then there's like fucking like bitter, disdainful, irrational, delusional anger towards just random shit. Big difference. Maybe they're not both anger, but I feel like they kind of are. Like you're mad at the world, or you're mad at Hitler. They're the same emotion in a way. Probably different, how you experience them, but shit, you know. At the risk of going on a tangent, I wanted to also talk about the other thing that I was talking about. How do I put this? Because this also brings up another person in my life who I don't want to find out about this. Let's just say they underwent a transformation. I guess that gives it away, but whatever. Um, no, but it's really not about them actually. Now that I think of it, it's more just I was thinking about how um, when it happened, when they changed, they underwent their big transformation. The family was all like, "Oh, we gotta raise awareness about this issue," and I just was thinking to myself, like, what if that just makes it worse? Like, we live in this idea where it's like we have to raise awareness of all these things, and it's like, how does it necessarily help? Like, who are we expecting? Is someone gonna come in and be a hero, like a superhero, or is it just like we want people to know, and we assume that them knowing is gonna, you know, dispel their whatever the word bigotry is? Or what happens if it's just like, um, yeah, like what happens if it's just makes shit worse? People knowing, because it's not like people are thinking really out there. They're just going with the flow. So say someone says, let's raise awareness for gay people, for homosexuality. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, I fucking hate that shit. Like that's what, you know. Who says that's not gonna happen? Like it's not gonna just cause negativity. It's not like raising awareness is necessarily all positive. Is all I'm trying to say. And I guess this does kind of circle back to what I was talking about before, because it's this kind of a rant that I had to go on, and it's so like I just realized now, like it's so stifling, where it's like I can't even just go on a rant without feeling like my anger is that kind of bitter, irrational, hateful anger that is completely unacceptable. There is like the kind of anger that's celebrated is the kind of anger that directly opposes this kind of anger that I have sometimes. And I gotta say, like, sure, I would hope that raising awareness about something would help, but I just wanted to set people's expectations that we don't necessarily live in a unified world. It's not some mistake that we're all divided. At least for now, I don't know. I'm not even sure if it's normal or what. It just seems to me. It seems like that happens. We're not all gonna agree, obviously. Maybe when I was 15, I was like, why can't we all get along? Now I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Maybe we don't have to kill each other at such alarming rates, but shit, where's the line drawn? For me, I was all bunched together. As I've said, I was sort of an infant in a man's body, like not even like a 5-year-old, like a 1-year-old or less, in some ways, which is really weird to think about because I've talked about it and people have just been like, I think you're exaggerating, and I'm like, no, like I can't be exaggerating because that's exactly what happened. It was like throwing an infant out into the world. Sure, he's functional, he can talk and he can communicate and stuff, but other than that, it's like he can't really be sustained by himself. Kind of wild. Anyway, that was a tangent, I feel like. So, back on track. Kind of a tangent, I guess. I feel like there's not necessarily any dramatic tangential problems here. It's just staying on a path that kind of staying on a theme. The lighting is striking. Oh, I remember. I was reading. There's a book that I've read, and one of the characters talks about how she just like hates awkward dudes. Like she's just turned off, and she just hates their nerdy weirdness. And I was talking to a guy, and I was like earlier today, and I was like, "Fuck!" I feel like I was thinking about it just now, or before the video I filming, and I was like, "Oh, that's what this feels like to be just so bitter and like frustrated and just disgusted with yourself." Shows I have a long way to go still in some ways, but it's because I'm recognizing it. Neighbors making noise. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking to a guy, and it's like, it's a little different because for me, it's like I have social anxiety, and I've been called awkward to my face. Like I've been interrupted to be told, oh, you know what, you're awkward as hell. You know what? So it's just kind of like it's different when I'm like talking to someone and they're like just as self-conscious as I am. That's the problem. So it is different than the book. The book was just some girl who was like, she just wanted. I don't even know. I'm not gonna talk about the book, but it struck me as sort of a similarity. Like, I would rather be with someone who kind of abuses me by kind of not contacting me as much than in a relationship with someone who just makes me feel uncomfortable all the time because I'm so easily made uncomfortable. But there are people who I end up chasing who they make me feel good. They bring out the best in me. For some reason, those are the people that it just never works out with. Like, I was talking about it with my therapist. I guess I could mention that. Just a little mention, which is that I was talking about how I already forgot. So I just forgot. And then it's getting kind of long anyways, this video, so I'd say that's quits for now. Bye bye.